Hey everyone, we're back with a more in-depth explanation about CTA's tokenomics. There are a lot of things to learn about it, so we decided to split it in three parts. The first part is the most concrete, the utility, which is what can you do with your CTA tokens. Then we'll go to a more technical part, which is the token distribution, so that you can see the health of the distribution and who owns what. And finally, we'll take a look at the vesting so that you can have an idea of when and whose token will unlock.
Excellent. So I guess we'll jump straight into the CTA token, which is the most important token.
Exactly. So there are three things that are important to know about it. First is how do you get it? Then what's the point of holding it? And finally, what do you use it for? So the first thing that I want to point out is that the CTA token is not something that you get by grinding the game. So playing games will not reward you in CTA tokens. And the reason for that is that we have observed that in the previous generation of metaverse gaming and other Web3 gaming, you would get tokens by playing the game, and it was played to earn. But the problem is that it's very deflationary because people are just grinding the game, getting their tokens, and then selling them. And you have new people coming in, and that boosts the token. But at some point, this number of players somehow dwindles, slows down, and then everybody starts panicking and selling, and basically it kills the game. So the CTA token is something that you cannot get in game, you cannot win by playing. So you have to buy it, and you have different ways to do so. So the first way, you have pre-sale pack airdrop from 10 to 250, depending on the premium packs that you could buy. Those are on sale on OpenSea. Then you have in-game pre-sale. Basically, if you have an account, you have a cap depending on the account, the type of account that you have. So if you have a free account, for example, you have a cap of 100 CTA. So you can buy up to 100 CTA until the game, the token will be tradable in exchange. And so when the exchange will be opened and you will have, it will be on SEX and DEX, then you will be able to buy as much token as you want on the exchange. But right now it's 50 cents and anyone can buy up to 100 per account. And the reason for that is that they want to distribute the token as evenly as possible and to limit the amount of whales that you could have so that there's no big pumps and dumps and that we have a healthy economy.
It's
Learning from the past mistakes. Yeah.
It's worth mentioning here as well that so even if the cap is 100 now, and one of the usages we'll see is to actually make NFTs with it, is that if you spend some of these of your CTA tokens, you can buy more later back up to your 100 cap again. So
Exactly.
it's not a one-time thing that you get 100 and then you never get any more. As soon as you spend some, you can buy up to that cap again.
So once the token will be on chain, basically he'll be available on exchanges, then it will be possible to sell your NFTs. So whatever CTA NFTs that you have on the marketplace, and for trading those NFTs, you will be able to use CTA tokens. And finally, it will be possible to lend cards that you own to other players, let's say for competitive reasons, and lending will be in CTA tokens. So that's how you can, that will be the many ways that you can get your CTA token.
Yep. And then what do we then get out of holding these tokens? So
the first thing that you can get, if you have a cap of, if you hold at least 10 tokens, then you can mint tokens. We'll explain later what it does. Then 20 tokens, you participate in tournaments. 50, it allows you to lend cards. So you need to have a stack of at least 50 tokens so that you can lend out cards. 100 to print your NFC collection. So basically the NFTs of across the ages. If you have the full collection, NFT wise, then you can ask to have them printed to you. But for that, you need to own at least 100 tokens. Then if you have 500 tokens, you will get a weekly NFT airdrop. So there are some special cards that you can only get as an airdrop if you stack at least 500 CTA tokens. And if you stack 1,000, you can get a second NFT airdrop. And then with some special packs, you are able to stack up to 2,000 tokens, but those are very rare and they are the legacy packs. And so we won't develop too much about them.
Yep. So what's then the direct usage of the NF of the CTA token?
First, you can mint cards with them. So you have your digital cards that you earned on chess that you played in the game. Maybe, let's say, you crafted some of your cards, and you have a card that's pretty valuable. So you want to mint it. It will cost you 2 CTA tokens or $1. It will always be $1. So if the CTA token goes up, it stays $1. Or you can mint your chess, and then you can sell them on the marketplace. Then, of course, with your tokens, you'll be able to buy NFTs once it will be on chain. You'll be able to use your CTA token to borrow cards from other players. And some tournaments will cost you CTA tokens. And again, if you're gonna print your collection, you'll have to pay in CTA tokens also.
Yep. So that's the CTA token. Let's go over to the actual token distribution, and most of this information you can find in the white paper. So we're
Yeah.
just breaking it down here a bit more.
So I'll start by doing the main ones, and then maybe Lord Helmet will go into more details. So you have three main categories. So the founding team, who owns 25% of the tokens. Then you have what was used for fundraising. So there was, for now, as what we know, $14 million that were raised. And we also have the rewards that will be distributed. So we said that you do not win CTA tokens by winning in-game. However, there will be a lot of tournaments, and some of those tournaments will offer CTA token rewards.
Exactly. And then obviously, so like all the tokens that are actually being used now, they go back into the treasury and then they go out again. So in total, there will be 1 billion CTA tokens. That is the total amount of tokens that will ever exist. And yeah, usage puts it back in the treasury, and then it goes out again as people are buying it and so forth. So yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, we can point out that there's a fairly even distribution for other aspects. Because, for example, you have 3% that goes to the graphic team, but it's 160 artists. So for so far, and we can expect that they are in the project for 10 years. So it will be, slowly spread out. One can hope, and so it's one of the aspects that wants to point out that the people who are holding the vast majority of the tokens are not going to dump it immediately, as we will see due to the vesting schedule that is in place.
Yeah, speaking of the vesting, let's go over and look at that. So keep in mind that all of these, the month and the years for the vesting, this these start counting from the time that the token hits the exchanges. So that's the month 0 and year 0. So here we see the lockups and the different things. So the core team, they have a minimum of 18 months lockup, and it's 4 years vesting. And then you have the extended team, which is like the third party, like graphics designers and so forth. And then you have the seed, which was the original investors that provide a lot of the original funds. And then you have the private sale that was closer to the actual real sale, so they paid a little bit more for their tokens. And then you have the complete the pre-sale, which was the last one before. And it's important to note here that people that actually buy their tokens in game now, there is no vesting, there is no lockup or anything. Soon as it's on the exchange, it's tradable by everybody that just bought tokens in game and so forth.
Exactly. So there's, if we can count that there will be around 6 months between the start of the game and the token being available to the exchange. You can add an extra 6 months to that from the start of the game, more or less. That means that people who invested in it have at least to wait, the biggest investors to wait 1 to 2 years before they start seeing some return on their investment, and it gives time to players to figure out whether the project is viable or not.
And as we're closing in on the general access or the general release, it's 29th of March. We still do not know when this will be available on exchanges and so forth. I mean, all we know is that Sami and the rest of the team has said that they want the game to become a successful game on its own with a widespread audience and a good pickup and so forth before they will even consider making the token available on exchange. So they want a big thriving community of players and active marketplace before the token will become available on exchanges.
Exactly. So they are doing everything they can to have as healthy tokenomics as possible, in a way that there will be a lot of time for the project to grow, to spread the token around, and this way we hopefully won't have to suffer too much from whales, pump and dumps.